My name is Alina. I'm 29 years old, and for most of my life, I believed one simple lie. That if I just tried harder, loved deeper, stayed quieter, my parents would finally choose me. But some families don't reject you loudly. They do it slowly, silently, every single day, until you start questioning your own worth. I wasn't abused in the way people expect. There were no bruises, no screaming matches, just absence. Cold dinners where no one asked about my day. Birthdays forgotten like they never mattered. And that constant feeling like I was a guest in my own home. My older sister Vanessa, she was everything. The golden child, the one with framed photos in every corner of the house. The one my parents bragged about at every gathering. Vanessa got into law school. Vanessa is dating a doctor. Vanessa makes us proud. And me? I was Alina. She's fine. That word, fine, haunted me. Because fine meant invisible. It meant forgettable. It meant unimportant. I remember one night so clearly. It still plays in my head like a loop. I was 16, sitting at the dinner table, report card in my hand, shaking. I had finally done it. Straight A's, every subject. I thought, this is it. This is the moment they finally look at me, the way they look at her. I placed the paper in front of my father. He glanced at it for maybe 3 seconds. Then he said, without even looking up again, "Good, that's what you're supposed to do." That's it. No smile, no, "I'm proud of you." No hug, just expectation. Meanwhile, when Vanessa got a B once, my mom baked a cake and told her, "Don't worry, you're still perfect to us." That was the moment I realized something was wrong. Not with me, but with them. Still, I kept trying. Because deep down, every child wants to believe their parents will eventually love them right. Until the night everything shattered. I was 17. It was late, around midnight. I had been saving up for months for a school trip, something small, just a weekend with classmates. I stood outside their bedroom door, rehearsing what I'd say. "Mom, Dad, I've already paid half, I just need permission." My hand was on the door handle when I heard voices. My name. I froze. My mother sounded irritated. Why does she keep asking for things like she belongs here? My chest tightened. And then my father said something that made my entire world collapse. Because she doesn't know the truth. Silence. I couldn't breathe. My mother lowered her voice, but I heard every word. "We should have told her years ago. She's not even our real daughter." My heart stopped. I remember gripping the wall to stay standing, and then came the sentence that changed me forever. "We should have left her where we found her." Found me? What did that even mean? Was I adopted? Abandoned? Stolen? I didn't know. And the worst part? They didn't say it with guilt. They said it like I was a burden, a mistake they regretted keeping. I went back to my room without making a sound, sat on my bed, and just stared at the wall for hours. No tears, no panic, just emptiness. Because suddenly, everything made sense. The distance, the favoritism, the way I never quite fit in my own family. I wasn't imagining it. I was never theirs. The next morning, I looked at myself in the mirror, and for the first time, I didn't see their daughter. I saw a stranger who had been living a lie. But here's the thing about breaking. Sometimes when something inside you shatters, it doesn't leave you weak. It makes you dangerous. So I did what I had always done best. I played my role. I smiled at breakfast. I wished Vanessa good luck on her exam. I even hugged my mother before leaving for school. And she hugged me back, like she hadn't just destroyed my entire identity the night before. That's when I understood something very important. If they could pretend, so could I. But my pretending had a purpose now. Because I wasn't trying to earn their love anymore. I was preparing for something else, something they would never expect. I started paying attention, listening more, speaking less. I noticed the late-night phone calls my father would take in the garage, whispering like he was hiding something. I noticed the way my mother kept certain documents locked away, never letting anyone touch that drawer. And Vanessa? Even she didn't know everything, which meant whatever they were hiding was bigger than just me. Years went by, and while they thought I was still the quiet, fine daughter, I was building something they couldn't see. I got into college, on my own, worked 2 jobs, saved every dollar. No help from them, no support, no love, just silence. But behind that silence, I was collecting pieces, clues, truths. Because if my entire life was a lie, then I was going to uncover every single secret they buried. And one day, I wouldn't just walk away from that house, I would come back. Not as the unwanted girl they raised, but as the woman who knew exactly who she was and exactly how to destroy them. And trust me, when that day comes, they won't be able to call me fine anymore. Years passed, and I disappeared from their world so quietly, they didn't even notice when I stopped coming home. No calls, no "we miss you," not even a simple "are you okay?" That was the moment I knew. I hadn't just been unwanted, I had been replaceable. But while they were busy living their perfect little life with Vanessa, I was becoming someone they could never control again. I changed my number, moved to a different city, built my life from nothing. No family name, no safety net. Just me and the truth I was still chasing. Because I never forgot what I heard that night. We should have left her where we found her. That sentence became my obsession, so I started digging. At first, it was small things, old public records, local news archives, missing person reports from around the time I would have been born. And then one day, I found something. A report from 29 years ago. A newborn baby girl found abandoned near a private clinic. No identification, no witnesses. My hands were shaking as I read it. The location? 10 minutes away from the house I grew up in. That wasn't a coincidence. That was me. But here's where things got darker. The clinic mentioned in the report? It had been shut down. Just months after that incident. No clear reason, no investigation, just gone. That didn't sit right with me, so I dug deeper. And what I found next? That's when I realized this wasn't just about abandonment. It was about something far worse. My father, the man who raised me, had financial records tied to that same clinic. Payments, large ones, made right around the time I was found. My stomach dropped, because suddenly, a terrifying possibility formed in my mind. What if I wasn't abandoned? What if I was taken? I spent months verifying everything, every document, every name, every hidden connection. And piece by piece, the truth came together like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. My parents didn't just find me, they bought me. That clinic? It wasn't just a clinic. It was running something illegal, something involving newborns, and desperate people willing to pay for a perfect child. But something must have gone wrong. Maybe I wasn't the child they expected. Maybe Vanessa was already enough. So instead of treating me like a daughter, a living reminder of something they wanted buried. And suddenly, everything made sense. The distance, the coldness, the way they never truly claimed me. Because to them, I wasn't family. I was evidence. And that's when I made my decision. I wasn't going to confront them. I wasn't going to scream or cry or beg for answers. No, I was going to do something much worse. I was going to expose them, slowly, carefully, completely. I gathered everything, the financial records, the clinic connections, the old report, and then I waited for the perfect moment. It came in the form of an invitation, Vanessa's wedding. Of course, they invited me, not out of love, but out of image. Because what would people say if the other daughter didn't show up? So I went, but not as their forgotten child. I walked into that wedding, confident, composed, untouchable, dressed better than anyone expected, smiling like I had no secrets at all. And when my mother saw me, for the first time in years, she looked uncomfortable. Good, because deep down, maybe she felt it, that something had changed. The ceremony was perfect. Beautiful venue, perfect guests, fake happiness everywhere. And then, it was time for speeches. I stood up, glass in hand, heart completely steady. Hi everyone, I'm Alina, the daughter my parents don't talk about much. A few awkward laughs. My father's smile tightened, my mother's face went pale, and I continued. I just want to thank my parents for raising me, for giving me a home, and for teaching me something very important. Silence filled the room. They taught me that truth always comes out. And that's when I did it. With one click, the screens behind me lit up. Documents, records, proof, everything. The room went silent, then whispers, then chaos. My mother stood up shaking. My father tried to shut it down, but it was too late, because once the truth is seen, it can't be unseen. I looked at them, really looked at them, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel unwanted. I didn't feel fine. I felt powerful, because the girl they tried to erase was the one who exposed everything. And as I walked out of that wedding, leaving their perfect world burning behind me, I realized something. Revenge isn't loud. It isn't messy. It's quiet, calculated, and final. And mine was just the beginning.